Hey everyone, it's Maury here. So I'll be giving you guys your songwriting challenge. This is the first one we're gonna do, so I'm kind of excited. Songwriting challenge is a little bit more different than compositional challenges, just because not everything has to be on like paper or a notation software. These ones, recording, are more acceptable, just because I feel like with songwriting, it's more of a you listen to and then you can copy it kind of a feel. A lot of times when we sing melodies, when we play, we can't exactly notate it, just because sometimes they have a feel towards it. I mean, you still should try to, but it's not necessary. If you write a really good melody, a lot of these will just come natural. So for this week's topic, we're talking about pop songs, pop music, and I'll go more into detail what that actually means on tomorrow's meeting and hopefully tomorrow's video that I'm gonna make. But in the meantime, for today's challenge, we're just gonna focus on writing a verse. So here's the little introduction I give. So it's pop songs are heavily structured and formulaic, which are true. They're meant to be singable, danceable, and to appeal to a general mass. So they're just supposed to be popular, pop songs, popular songs. The choruses are often are simple and use few words. They're the main focus of the song. It's the part where you want to belt out, have the most energy. While the verse, they're allowed to be more softer, more quieter. They tell the story and they give a reason for the chorus. I remember one of my teachers told me the chorus is the define idea. It's the kind of it can be very what's the word, ambiguous. It can mean a lot of things, but it, you give it meaning to it, you tell the reason why this word means to you or why you want to say this chorus. So it just to give you guys an idea. And for the most part, pop songs use a 4-chord progression, and they use simple melody, usually ranging within the octave, or in some cases, using one note. So a lot of these melodies for pop songs are pretty easy. Sometimes they can just be within the perfect fifth, the do re mi fa sol. From do sol could be the highest interval they sing, and sometimes it can be just one notes. I know Taylor Swift's been known to do a lot of just one notes, one note melodies, and usually this note is a common tone between all the chords she plays. So these are some ideas you guys can play with for this little challenge today. Just for a general guideline, the verses usually last 8 measures or 2-chord progressions. So if you play a 4-chord progression, each bar is 1 chord. That would come up to 2 and up to 16, depending on the structure of the song, but usually it could be one of these two. So for today's objective, we're going to write a verse for a pop song using the chord progression that I will give out and using the topic to sing about, just having some of these restrictions just so we can have some ideas flowing. So the song title that I chose was Wildflower. That's very ambiguous. It can mean a lot of things because there's the term wildflower. What it means to you, it can mean a person, it can mean a personality, or it can mean an actual wildflower. So it's your job to think about it and try to write a verse that emphasizes this theme of what a wildflower is. For my purpose, I think I'll write about a person or something. Wildflower usually means someone that's kind of crazy, out there, kind of head in the clouds. So, I guess for me, my chorus will be something like "She's a wildflower," very generic, but it gets the job done. The key, so you can sing in any key that's comfortable for you. I think for this one, I'm gonna sing in the key of D, just because I'm more used to it. But usually, key of C or key of G are good keys to sing in. Pretty within the range of both male and female. But just sing whatever is comfortable. And the chord we're gonna do today is the 1-5-6-4 chord progression, and I wrote it both in the key of C and the key of G, in case you guys don't know your Roman analysis symbols. This is usually taught in your first year of music theory, but for the most part, we keep it in this notation just so we can transpose it in different keys, because these are the same chord progressions just in different keys. And for this chord progression, It's the most common chord progression for pop songs. If you look it up, you can find tons of music, popular music, that are based around this chord progression. I know there's a YouTube video where these artists play, I think it's over 100 songs, and they all have the same chord progression, just different melodies. So as you are, getting this challenge ready, just play with the chord progression, see how they feel, see why this chord progression specifically works. There's quite a bit of theory that I won't get into, but it just sounds nice. Let's listen to it really quick. It's very simple, very easy to sing to, I believe. And since it's very simple and it's really commonly used, I think it'll be a really great tool for you guys to at least work with, or at least base a lot of your hopefully your future songs on. The next one, we're going to quickly talk about rhythm. A lot of pop songs are in 4/4 times because it's a pretty common time signature. That's why it's called common time. Here, just experiment with the rhythm of the chord progression. You can do it whole notes, or just one strum each. We can do the eighth note. Or just practice and maybe make a strumming pattern or a rhythm pattern that's just fun to play around. Something like this, maybe. Just have fun with it. Just play around with the chord progression. See what feels natural to you. Just have fun. Later this week, I will send out a cheat sheet with common rhythms to play with. They're the classic 4 on the floor. Sorry, it's 1 2 1 2 1 2. With Tresillo, and a lot of other ones that you guys probably know. You probably know the feeling of it. You probably have heard a lot on radio, but I just don't know the actual names of these rhythms. Time signature 4/4 instrumentation. Just for this one, I want you guys to sing and have a vocal harmonic instrument. Just means any instrument that can play chords, so guitars, pianos, ukulele, anything like that's fine. It's really hard if you have like a monophonic instrument like a violin or something that just plays one notes. You can get around with it if you play, an arpeggio that outlines the chord, but it's easier if it's just an instrument. But since I know a lot of you may not have the ability to have this, I've pre-recorded a couple of my strumming patterns using this chord progressions for you guys to sing over or play over, do whatever you want over them. But just know that for the sake of the recording, I recorded the chord progression 4 times. But if you sing over 2 of the chord progression, it'll be fine. I gave you 2 progressions of just countings, just so you guys can feel the beat as you go into it. Just keep those things in mind. The melody, kind of like I said, keep it simple within the octave or between the period fifth. And if you ever listen to Ed Sheeran, a lot of his songs usually stick within the root and the third, because it's very simple, very fast to play with. You can also try the one-note melodies I was talking about. Just start singing something, just using one note. I included a link to a YouTube video that has a lot of the rhythms and melodies of popular songs, so you guys can look at them and you guys can analyze it just to give you ideas. Length, kind of like I said, it's 8 measures or play the chord progression twice, just because it's easier like that, and a lot of the verses give it like that. And here's just a little FYI, these are just guidelines. You guys can change it at any time, but try to stick with them until you're confident in your skills. Also, I would like you guys to post these recordings of you, or in a lead sheet if you have some, And I know a lot of you guys might be a little hesitant just because you guys don't consider yourself singers, but I think as songwriters, we need to at least have an idea what we want to hear. We don't have to be the greatest singers. I'm definitely not. I've sent out demo tracks with my horrible voice, but with a good singer, they're able to interpret that. They are able to at least have an idea what I want, and it's just a good skill to have overall. And just be confident. Just make sure that when other people post their stuff, don't criticize their voice, because that's not the purpose of this challenge. The purpose is just to use this chord progression in this verse, just to have an idea. I'll quickly do mine. Let's see. I'm gonna write a little lead sheet just because it's a little bit easier for me. So have the title, Wildflower, the verse, and I just wrote out the chords, because for lead sheet you usually want to write the words underneath the chords that you changed with. So let me just strum this pattern. Let me just have some ideas. So yeah, I'm getting the feeling of it. Let's see, I can go da 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 la 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 la. Okay, that's at least the melody I'm thinking of. My voice is not tuned, and I actually want to sing this in the key of D, so put a capo. Another cool thing about melodies for pop music, it's very repetitive, so you can write one rhythm, a one melody for two chords, so like the 1 to the 5, da 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 da, and repeat that again for the 6 to 4, da 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 da. Just changing your, I guess, melody to accommodate the chords. So kind of got a feel of what I'm feeling. Let's think of the term wildflower. Like I said, wildflower, I think of the term they use to explain a girl that's kind of, wild, kind of out there, kind of fun. That's what I'm thinking. It's pop, so try to make it kind of general. It's not very, I wouldn't say it's not very authentic. It can be. A lot of people nowadays are pretty authentic, but you can probably be very generic about this. Let's see, wildflower, and if my chorus is, I want to say she's a wildflower, let's try to write 2 verses that describe that. Okay, let's see. She's like a thought in my head, making everything that I've said like a little wildflower. Okay, shoot, I'm using the word. I mean, you can use it, but I want to be a little bit more descriptive. Let's see. I met her on the street at noon, thinking that maybe I knew that girls like her, they're one of a kind, maybe something out of sight. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Okay. Don't think too much about it. Just try to be generic and try to just have fun with it. It may sound stupid, may even read stupid. Just work through it. Let's go ahead. I found her. Let's write that. I found. Oops, misspelled that. Found her. I found her in the middle of. Okay, let's do that. And can't spell apparently. Let's see. I found her in the middle of the rain. Cool. I'm pretty sure it hurts. Something similar to this. Pretty sure this is pretty generic. I mean, I found her in the middle of the rain. I found her in the middle of the rain. Okay. There's another thing you guys need to work on. I need to work on. Is natural, what do you call it? Natural syllables of words, just because this is pretty awkward. Let's see. I found her in the middle of the rain, playing games. Okay, that's playing games. Honestly, this is not the best. I don't really like the melody I'm going with, but I'm just gonna stick it out just because it's just an exercise. I just wanna work through it. Let's see. I found her in the middle of the rain, playing games. I thought, let's see, how does that? Let's see, I found her in the middle of the rain, playing games. So wonderful. That's okay. Now the goal is to try to use the same melody as I did with the first part of the verse. I found her in the rain. Oh, I found her in the middle of the rain, playing games. So wonderful, beautiful, I thought. Great, it's turned into a love song. Oh well. I don't think it's full destroy. Autocorrect help me. So wonderful, beautiful. Whatever. I think I put I thought. Let's do that, okay. So wonderful, beautiful, I thought inside. I don't think that's grammatically correct. So wonderful, beautiful, I think to myself. Okay. To myself. Okay. What we got? I found her in the middle of the rain, playing games. So wonderful, beautiful, I thought to myself. Cool. That's my verse. Yeah. Doesn't match the theme. Wildflower. I'm describing a girl who's a wildflower. I feel like I can be more descriptive. The only thing I've wrote that she's in the middle of the rain playing games, which sounds kind of cheesy. I could probably be more poetic about it, but I'm not gonna worry about it. And this is why sometimes you have up to 2 more chord progressions just to flesh out an idea. Sometimes, what I've noticed in some pop songs, they tend to double the chord. So instead of playing, they could play. Just so they can fit more words or fit more of their rhythm ideas. You can experiment with that, but I think for what I want, this is exactly what I want. Something simple, something I can say I've done it. And let's just listen one more time what it sounds like. 1, 2, ready, and oh, whoops, messed it up. 1, 2. I found her in the middle of the rain, playing games. So beautiful. Shoot, messed it up. You know, this is why we keep practicing. I found her in the middle of the rain, playing games. So wonderful, beautiful, I thought to myself, she's a wildflower, the one in my life. See, now I went into a made-up chorus that I have that it just kind of felt natural for me. Of course, this is something you can work around. Just don't think too much about it, just do it, and I'm gonna post this. I'm not the greatest singer, but hey, I done it, I did it, I'm a songwriter, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Well, until next time. Have fun with this.